Okay, so now you decide you're going to be an everyday philosopher. You understand that whatever your job, bagging groceries, laborer on construction sites, bus driver, teacher, lawyer, that whether you had a good education or a not good one, that all of us need to learn to live and to die. Well, the next step is reading some great books. Whether you're interested in poetry or plays, novels or essays, autobiographies, or other nonfiction classics like histories, you need to start reading some great books where you know people wrestled with the timeless questions that all humans face. And maybe they've come up with some answers, or at least they're asking better questions than you or I have thought of. But you need to start reading. So you set aside some time each day to read, maybe even an hour, maybe only a half hour. But you take that time and you hold it sacred. You sit down with a book, you take a pen, you write notes on what you read. You read slowly and for understanding. So in the process of slow, deep reading, I tend to just write right in the books, in the margins. Someday, if I'm ever famous, somebody will want my books and analyze those marginal notes. But if not, who cares, right? They're my thoughts on what I'm reading deeply while I'm reading it. You'd be surprised how much you get through. But even if you don't, if you only get through 2, 3, 4 books a year, this way, those 2, 3, 4 books a year, you've deeply wrestled with, connected them to your life and your life's questions, and began to change your own life to understand living and dying more deeply. But there is also something to say with reading broadly, which traditionally required reading quickly. But actually I use Audible and LibriVox recordings I find here on YouTube. Usually turn them up to 1.5 time or 2 time and listen to them quickly on the way to work, while I'm jogging. Right now I'm listening to Up From Slavery. Who's that? Booker T. Washington. You know, I don't know why I never read him before. I didn't read him deeply 10 years ago when I was really into John Dewey. But I'm hearing a lot of resonance between his educational philosophy and John Dewey's. So why didn't I? Very practical, not overly focused on the liberal arts. But Booker T was liberally educated, classically educated. He had read and wrestled with those classics to come with his conclusion that would be better for 4 people would be a practical education in some trades, maybe engineering, medicine, teaching, so they can get jobs and improve their station in life first, be respected members in communities, and then later pick up a classical education. Well, it's kind of what you get at any college today, unless you major specifically in something like humanities, musicology, or art history. You're going to get a practical education. Even those folk majoring in good schools and English literature might not get a chance to read much of the greats. And if they do, sometimes they'll, in the programs that do them to read, they'll read too much to read any of it slowly and well enough to truly change your lives. But you can do both. So you read slowly something over a period of months, taking notes, thinking deeply about what this author thought deeply about. And then you also listen to other stuff. Again, Up From Slavery. Before that, I listened to some Emerson essays. Before that, let's see, Cicero. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I did all those on audiobook. Things I don't necessarily feel that I need to read slowly and deeply, but I know they were classics. Oh, Old Man and the Sea. I did that one on the drive to vacation with my family. It was beautifully read by one of the Sutherlands. I think Donald. Beautifully read book. I didn't even read that, listen to that one on high speed, just because I wanted to bask in his voice storytelling. So some of them maybe I have read deeply in past years, and I just want to, like the Emerson and the Cicero, and I just want to listen again, maybe to a different translation in the case of Cicero, or maybe just to remember some general directions and some arguments made by a well-respected thinker like the agrarian Emerson. Well, that's one aspect to being the everyday philosopher, self-learned, that you want to be. Critical thinker, able to understand the world around you. One aspect is getting and wrestling with these books. What a wonderful thing. I also suggest listening to some classical music, some jazz. Be surprised how much your life is improved through that. Have a blessed day. Boy, it's hot today. Again, aiming for about 4 miles for an hour. Coming out after it's pouring rain, sludging through. It's like running through a river. I feel like the air's more wet than a pool could ever be.